Hello and welcome to Bunto Silent Dogfight, episode number 10, Green Soul Sufi. We have an excellent special guest tonight, my friend Frank, Green Soul Sufi. And as our usual procedure, we will open up this interview afterwards up to general participants. I hope you're all having a good week. Frank, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good, I'm doing good. A little
Big day.
disheveled, yeah, a lot of work today, but other than that, I'm pretty good, man.
All right. Frank, let me give our listeners just a quick background. In a nutshell, you live in the New Jersey area. You're a family man, and currently, as of now, are a professional behavioral analysis. Could you please tell our listeners the things that you do in this career? And we're also very interested to know how your personal faith works into that.
Sure. As a behavior analyst, I work with a range of individuals, such as individuals with autism spectrum disorder, dual diagnosis, such as schizophrenics, how, people who suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder, you name it. But the population that I focus on really is young adolescent males,
Okay.
usually broken homes and things of that nature. Um, but yeah, I also did it all. I also did substance abuse.
Okay.
So I was a substance abuse counselor for a little bit. I do like individual sessions. I do groups, but the main focus is on creating behavior plans. You
Okay.
know,
Behavior plans.
yeah, behavior modification plans, and I do like assessments, things of that nature. It takes a while to do a behavior plan. Usually, it takes like 2 or 3 weeks.
All right.
You get all the data in, and then you create this elaborate, beautiful plan, and then you start. You know, the people that will work with that individual will start working with them and taking data and taking notes to see if the plan is working. That's basically the gist that I do. It's a lot, actually, but
Really.
it is a lot because there's a lot to go into it.
The thing that crosses my mind, Frank, right off the top of my head is like you're dealing with data and then you're also dealing with people. Which do you prefer?
I like to deal with people.
Okay.
I think people are very interesting. It's a whole other universe in a sense. And I totally have respect for autonomy for people because I'm not creating a plan for them, but basically a plan to really understand this particular individual for all of us and how to work, with this person.
If you only had the data, you could work with that. I mean, does the data rise to the level of the personal attention that you enjoy
The
with people?
data, the data is just numbers in the sense, but there's
Right.
a lot to go in that goes into it because data actually helps us really to see progress.
Yes. The
Or
statistics.
yes, yeah, it gives us a good outline of progress of what we're trying to change.
How do you
So
feel about measuring progress? Vital or ancillary to a relationship with a
I
person?
think it's vital. I think it's really vital because we have to see something tangible, not
Right.
just through our observations and our because we're all very subject beings and we're very subjective. What the data does, it helps us to become a little bit more objective in a sense. So it does for a behavior analyst is extremely important.
For a behavioral analysis or in the general?
Just for us, I don't know as far as other professions, but for us, it's really important for us to really look at data and look at a behavioral change because that's what we're doing. That's what our main concern is to change behavior.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Your faith is
Well, I am a Sufi Muslim. Now, as far as how it comes into my profession, I'm not sure, but
okay.
I think because the rigidity of the practice maybe has a correlation for behavior analysts. We try to be very punctual
Right.
uh, in a sense, and we're very analytical. I think with my faith, it has those components. You know, 5 times a day, you pray this way, you pray, So I have these rituals. For me, it just helps me to calm me down in a sense.
Right.
I gotta
Okay.
relax. Yeah.
Would it be fair to me to juxtapose those to like what a Christian believes? To me, a Christian is more reward orientated rather than, a Sufi, which is, would you characterize it as, introspective,
It's
meaningful?
as far as my particular faith is very esoteric. That they do have a tradition.
Right.
However, it's really inward. It's really about. I was always this way in a way. I was always into meditation and yoga.
Were you
I
ever
think
Christian?
when I was a Christian, yes, I was really into stuff like that.
Okay.
But as a Sufi, you really do a lot of practices where you go really inward within yourself, and it's something that it provided me that outlet in a sense. It was my conversion was very emotional based. It was nothing
Okay.
about has to do with rationality or anything like that. It's something that there was something that actually suited me that kind of helped me to tell my myth and story in a way.
For
Yeah.
someone as analytical as you, did you test the face, several faiths, before you jumped into Sufism?
When I not really testing faith, but really what suits me. It's not really up to if the faith passed the test or anything like that. Um, I actually have an admirations for all faiths.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, for a person, looking out and seeing the beauty with a lot of spiritual practices, really admire seeing that.
Many people take the one true faith approach. Do you think that is a
I think
satisfying
that's
approach?
I think that's a mistake.
It's a mistake. Why?
Yeah, trying to, especially when it comes to spiritual practices, everyone's different. Everyone has different outlooks, and I think taking that approach, you know, opens the doors to a lot of ugliness. A lot of xenophobia in a way. So I
Okay.
don't, you know, I'm not particular to that. I have a certain creed, certain doctrine, but I don't think it should be applied to everyone. Anyone that needs it, take it for what it will and see how it goes.
Just talking about our own particular community, the great debate community, I've noticed right now a person who is, I guess I could mention his name. His name is Johnny Kidge. I don't know if you've heard of him. Did I pronounce it right? Kidge? Um,
Could you spell that?
K, I think it's KZJ. Um,
Oh, okay. The one with the koala bear?
right. He's on some sort, I would say he's on an upward trajectory. He's gaining, I guess, views, hits, followers. And what would you say? His approach is the xenophobic approach, that there is a monster to slay in anything outside of his religion. Could you give us,
Correct.
a quick analysis of that? Um,
Well, that type of behavior usually gets a lot of attention.
right, clickbait,
Yeah, it's very exciting and it's very polarizing.
right? It's very
uh,
polarizing.
it's very polarizing.
Do people need that in our community, polarization?
Well, I think within our lives we have dragons to slay, and
Monsters.
we project it towards other things and other people, and that's just the way I see it. With that, it's not really about what they're talking about. It's really what within them or what happened to them or
Okay,
whatever. Yeah,
so it is some sort of therapy. Okay, is it a very shallow approach?
for that particular individual. Well, this is one of the things and I'm generalizing here. I think Google Plus, right,
Right.
is a place where it's a safe place where people could actually have an outlet, you know, for themselves in a way that they could express themselves.
Social
You know,
expression.
the social expression, and I think a lot of it is like that. And I think it provides an outlet for people to do that. Um, I don't think, especially, out here, if we want to call it the real world, this mundane world that we live in, going to work, we have to actually interact with people,
Right.
so we cannot say those particular things where a lot of people saying in Google Plus.
Right. The
But
soapbox isn't afforded us as well as in G plus, the community.
exactly. So a lot of the frustrations and the or
Inner turmoils.
inner turmoils, yeah, good, so they will, this is a forum that they could really express those things. I do it myself. I love art. You see I post a lot of artwork, photography, and things like that, and that's an outlet for me. That's
Okay.
an outlet of my expression. And you see it here. You see how people put their pages, their icons, um, and you definitely see something very creative within the individual that they could actually do here, and it's a great place to do it, and it's very therapeutic.
Okay. Our community is faith-based in one way or another.
Yeah, yeah,
I
there
can
is
I
a
can hear the atheist howls of objection to that. Could you extrapolate,
uh,
please, Frank?
well, when we talk about faith, we're talking about could it be in the sense that it's an ideal, in the sense like an idea of a better world without a certain thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's more in lines of faith. Faith is, just putting trust into something, I think. But as far as an ideal goes, yeah, there are people who are, if you want to call it crusade,
Okay.
to make a world a better place. And one of the ways they could express that is either by trying to convert people to a particular faith or trying to deconvert or show something, that we could take this out and then the world would be a better place. Case in point, if we didn't have any religion, we won't have wars.
Right.
People wouldn't act this way. Um, there's not any scientific really studies that really indicate that, but there are studies about ways of thinking. If people think a certain way, if they're thinking one way and they're very stringent, they're very stubborn,
Yes.
that it doesn't allow for new possibilities to come in. And being a person of faith doesn't, my faith doesn't say that I have to close my mind to something. I actually want it open. I want to look at different opinions. I want to make sure if I'm wrong,
All right.
I'm willing to accept that. But that takes, I don't say a special kind of person, but it takes a type of maturity for some people. Um,
Is okay, Frank, is the great debate community about discussion and dialogue, or is it about the people that you encounter?
I think it's more about people. I don't think it's
Okay.
about really. Very few times I see anyone really learning anything. It does happen. I'm sure it does, but I don't really see it that way. I think it's more of an outlet of expression. Like when you're talking about debates, are we really talking about communication? Yeah.
Okay.
It's going one side with another side.
Right.
Um, I don't see anything. I honestly could say I really have not learned any new information from both sides.
Well, how
What I
about this?
did,
Can
yeah,
we
go ahead.
characterize it like the people come first and then the discussion? Because that crossed my mind that, we first encounter somebody that interests us and then the discussion comes forth. Not so much that we, are looking for the discussion. We're really looking for the people.
Yeah, I think so. I could concur to that. It's more about the personality. Yeah, and the stuff that they say that is later, the more outrageous it is,
Right.
the more the persons connect to that.
Truly, we want to see,
Yeah.
well, we want to see, either the lulls, or we want to see drama, or we want to see actual substance.
Yeah.
Um, okay, if I admitted to you that I am an analytical type person who tends to look at people in our community and give them a profile, um, would you say that's sound thinking, or an approach for somebody to take in our community to start analyzing who's actually in the community and what their profile fits?
I don't really, take seriously about that, analyzing people or even analyzing behavior in some sense.
Why not?
Um, because I think people are different in different environments. I think
Oh,
that's yeah. I think what we could look for is patterns.
patterns.
Yeah, I think patterns are more important. Case in point, if a particular subject comes up,
Right.
you could actually, either by hearing the person's voice or what the person says, if it's very consistent with that certain pattern, then you have what we call an antecedent. We have something that could trigger something, and then hence we
Right.
got something there. As far as me like diagnosing or anything like that, the best I would say, yeah, it does have symptoms of like OCD, but we don't really know, you know. So,
Is there certain types of behavior, Frank, worth analyzing? Like if a person's introverted or extroverted, if a person is trolling. Like,
yeah,
what is trolling, Frank? What is the utility of trolling that we see in our community?
well, it's putting on, it's funny because I think sometimes in the way we all do it,
Okay,
yeah,
I've thought
conscious,
that too.
yeah, I think we all do it somehow, some way.
I'll give you an
Um,
example. Okay, I'm in a hangout with a bunch of religious types. Let's say Ermine is in there. Ermine has said this many times that my questions are trolling. And then I think, well, how could they? Because my religious questions, right? Because I do not believe in what they believe. So how is it trolling? I mean, could I be subconsciously trolling
it could
something that
be.
I don't believe in?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and it's the type of things that you have to really look and reflect and see do I really want answers for this? Or, why am I asking
Do
these
I really want
questions?
answers for this? That's a very good point, Frank.
Yeah. So that's one of the things you have to really look at.
For example, if I find myself asking questions about the Trinity, and I don't believe there's any substance to theology whatsoever, could I be like subconsciously trolling? Or would you just say I'm just asking questions about how such a mechanism could work?
Well, the question is why you're asking the question.
Right. Okay? If I was purposely asking that question to expose to the listener the vacuousness of their position, that is trolling, or is that
I think that's a certain type of trolling.
okay? Well, isn't science trolling then? When
Not
science
always.
wants to
Well,
prove what is real in our reality by questioning, you know, premises that are conclusions that are put forth by the faith believer.
when it comes to religion, faith, or any type of spirituality, it's really hard to really quantify, um, let's say, truthfulness
All
or
right.
reactions, because I think these things, like, it's almost like you're putting a painting against another painting, another piece of art against another piece of art, and
Interesting.
it is hard to really quantify it in a sense. I think, for me anyway, I think religion or spirituality, it goes into the forms of the philosophy of aesthetics of art. Yeah, so
I've thought that too, Frank, that basically Christianity is an artistic expression.
I I believe that. I
So,
really do.
okay, well, should some questions be asked if you don't believe that they're real?
Yeah, I think, I even believe it should be challenged. I think if it's done in a really good place, a good intent, yeah, you should question these things. And I
Okay,
think
Frank, the
people
meta of the question is, what is trolling? What is trolling, Frank?
trolling is just for, as far as I understand it, I have never heard the term trolling until I got to Google Plus,
Right.
because what I understand about trolling is somebody just like either trying to get like trying to
Elicit a
make believe that
reaction.
just, yeah, listen to reaction, trying to make believe you're something else or not, just trying to create chaos in a sense, so
Chaos.
it's, yeah. Uh,
Um,
I tried trolling one time. It didn't
okay.
work.
Well, okay. Well, what was the position you were trolling? Was it a religious position or scientific or just
No, I was just like, and my intent was I'm gonna reveal myself like in the middle, but I was like, I went to a hangout and say, that Green Soul Sufi dude, he's a fucking asshole or something like
right?
that. It's like, yeah,
Okay. So you created a caricature and just wanted to see what people's reaction would be.
yeah, and you know what? I
You
felt
wanted to
bad.
detect a pattern.
Yeah, I felt bad for doing that actually.
Okay, why did you feel guilty about experimenting in a G plus hangout?
Because I want to be authentic. I don't,
Okay,
yeah, I don't want to, I, 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 I don't want to make believe that I'm something else. This is who I am, and if there's something inauthentic, then I'm not doing it on purpose. So that's why I was just like, oh, I thought it was going to be funny, but I was just like, yeah, this is not good.
it's
I
not
don't
good.
want to,
Okay,
yeah.
if
I felt bad afterwards. I told myself I shouldn't be doing that.
okay, Frank, is it dangerous to treat a G plus hangout like a lab, like a laboratory, like an experimental?
As far as ethics, yes, it
All
is.
right, please,
Yeah.
could you extrapolate on that?
Well, when you're doing a certain type of study or start, there has to be some level of knowledge with the participants. Yes, and
Willingness.
there has to be some willingness, but there is some deception. But as long as the person's not hurt or any psychological damage is done or anything like that.
Truly, I can see.
Yeah, so there is a slight level of deception, but it's far, towards the end of the study, it would be told, but there has to be some level of notification that there's something is, because the problem is with studies is that when people know they're being studied, the
Yes,
behaviors are different, and that's the
truly.
crux of the whole thing. Um, Now, some people may disagree on it, but yeah, it's a slippery slope because ethics are involved in it. That's why I never treated Google as like a thought experiment or anything like that. I do,
All right,
yeah, I observe,
you
but I
observe.
think, but the thing is that that's just a natural tendency of mine. That's what I do, and
You'll never instigate the experimental conditions.
no, I would not.
Oh,
Especially for behavior analysts, they would not do that because the environment has to be as natural as it possibly can.
sterile or
Yeah, like
untouched, untampered.
untampered, um, because that's how you truly really observe. Because you could actually be what they call a
Right.
stimulus. So you definitely want natural environment and really do your observations. Clear.
Okay,
But yeah, go ahead.
Frank, when we're observing all these different types of creatures in our environment, the great
It's an
debate.
interesting way to put it.
Okay, all the different birds. I was thinking about that. We're
Very
bird
good.
watching.
Bird watching.
Um, should we, uh, you know, if we're train watching, if we're bird watching, we're watching the creatures. Should we keep track of what type of creatures they are? See if there's
Um,
progress change in the data that they give us? There's a lot of free data the G Plus users give us. Should we utilize it?
For what purposes?
Observation,
This
uh,
observation? Okay.
yes, pure observation. Yes,
Yeah.
on
I,
my, I have to admit, sometimes I do feel a need to reach out and heal people. Yeah, okay, is it right to treat a G Plus Hangout as a therapeutic zone, or is that a
for me,
dangerous?
no, it's not right.
Okay, could you please extrapolate? Why is that? And you're a professional, mind you. I'd like to bring that to the attention of our listeners, but somebody who is
If I,
not a
if
professional.
yeah, I think for me anyway, like those, if I'm doing a group, and let's say if I did it in this type of media, it has to be done in a professional way. Hence, I had to have people on top of me to
Right.
really make sure that nothing unethical is happening. And
Guidelines,
there's
oversight.
guidelines to it. So I can't just freely and be like, hey, I'm going to start. No, I can't do that. I had, the first hangout I did, I actually had a therapist on board because one of the reasons why I had her because I wanted to make sure that I was not doing anything unethical.
Untoward. Okay.
Yeah, so um, it gave me some feedback, and I was really appreciative of it. And then, hence, I did these hangouts very differently. Yeah, because you have to be extremely careful
Yes.
in that sense. So for me personally, if I'm going to do a hangout, it's not going to be a therapeutic thing. It's going to be psychoeducational. But as far as therapy concerns, no, I will not.
Frank, how should we help some of the troubled individuals we do encounter in our community
I think if they ask for help,
if they ask for help?
yeah, if they ask for help,
Should we ever indicate that they have problems?
well, if you have a friend and if you see something, you could point it out to them as best as you can as a friend.
As a friend,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm your friend. I think you should see a professional, seek professional help. Something like
That's
that.
nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing. I do it. I do it all the time. Also, like if I see something wrong, I say, "Hey, man, there's people for that you could actually see."
Okay, troublemakers in our community need professional help or just need to be observed.
I think they're just bored.
They are bored, but the way they approach their boredom, does it
It's
not
maladaptive. It's definitely.
it's maladaptive?
Mhm.
Okay, troublemakers in our community, what's our approach, the healthiest approach we should take?
Not to pay attention to it.
To ignore them.
Exactly. That's why. Because that's what it looks like is it looks very attention seeking.
Right?
So the best way to deal with attention seeking behavior is not to give it attention
And
because you're reinforcing the behavior.
you're enabling the behavior.
Yeah,
Um,
we call it reinforcement, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
Frank, what things should a person have a reaction to um, in our community, in the internet community? What things?
It depends on the time and place.
All right.
Yeah, you know,
Just to characterize for our listeners, there are good reactions. If somebody expresses their love to you
yeah.
or affection, should we not return it?
Well, it depends if the person wants to return it.
For
As long,
example, somebody's known me for a while and they say, "I love you, Bunto." Isn't it? I feel it is incumbent upon me to return the affection.
I would.
Okay, so we are reacting to positive feedback, but negative feedback. What are ways we can deal with that?
Again, it depends on the time and place. There are cases where, if the person is angry and expresses their anger, there's nothing wrong
Right.
with that as long as it's done, you know, in the proper context. So
Okay, context. In the proper context. Okay, somebody comes into a hangout and accuses me of being malicious to another person, and I take pains to lay out my own, to ask them what their assertion is exactly, and then I take pains on my own end to lay out my position. Did I do the right thing?
yeah, I think Bunto, the times that I've seen those type of interactions, I think you handled yourself pretty well.
Thank you.
I was actually very impressed. I'm actually very impressed with people who could actually handle themselves on those type of situations. I
Okay,
admire
overcoming obstacles, Frank.
that.
To me, it's a sign of maturity.
I
What is it?
believe. Yeah, I think so. I think it's a sign of maturity. As long as you done it the best way you can, and you didn't hurt so many people, you didn't hurt people in the process.
Yes, that's something I'm very cognizant of. Um,
Yeah,
I feel the need to mature at this point of my life. So I have to learn how to overcome obstacles because I see other people on G Plus that I'm so much more fortunate than, uh, in their obstacles that they have to overcome.
yes.
Can, I mean, isn't that a good thing about our community is that we can actually see other people and what they have to deal with?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a saying with Plato. He says that try to treat everyone nice, well, because everybody's going through hard times. Everybody goes through a hard time.
Plato, huh? Oh,
Yeah, Plato. Um, there's a meme that I seen and I thought it was beautiful, and people loved it because they could really relate to that. It said treat people kindness because everyone is going through hardship. I think that's how it went.
right.
Um, and there is a level of understanding with that phrase, with that saying. There's a lot of wisdom, and I do my best to live that way. With people is treat people kindly.
Treating people
You know,
kindly. Frank, is there anything obsessive or wrong with the need to reach out and heal people? Is there a point where I have to say, Bunto, just let that person be. Do not try to involve yourself so strong in their affairs.
well, it depends. I think sometimes it depends how much energy are you willing to put
Right,
forth.
efforting.
Yeah, the effort. And the other thing is that I think people heal themselves. I
They have to
think,
heal themselves.
yes, I think, you know, we could give sometimes people will give suggestions
Wisdom.
or just listening
Right.
to an issue. I think listening is a big part. A lot of times people will just try to fix the problem, which is not, it's counterproductive.
Okay.
What people have to do is really listen, and hence I think when you really listen, I think you become more empathetic with what that other person's going through. You know, when I don't, case in point, if somebody's going through a rough time and you'll tell the person, don't worry about it, man, everything's going to work out,
Okay.
or, you know, it's not a big deal, man, you could overcome that. No, you don't say those things. I don't think you believe. You say, look, I'm here with you.
Okay.
That's the best thing you could do, to
That's
be
good
with that
advice.
person during that time of hardship, because they're going through something. And hardship and the way people feel is very valuable for them. You can't just delegitimize. I can't even say the word. Just put it off.
Delegitimize.
There you go.
Right.
Um, if a kid is crying because he lost his lollipop, since to stop acting like a baby. That's a horrible
Right.
thing to say. It's the same thing for an adult. They're feeling something. So you pick them up, you give them a hug. You know, not to make them feel better, but to empathize with what they're feeling.
Okay, Frank, I want to reach out and help people. Okay. And there's probably, the better approach, the more mature and wise approach you just gave us. Frank, if somebody approached me and said, I subconsciously want to control people that way, I mean, would there be any validity in that? What is the subconscious?
As a behaviorist, we don't believe it's subconsciousness.
All right.
But, however, it's not to say it's a concept.
It's a concept.
Yeah, it's a concept, and is a lot of times the things that we probably suppress, you know,
Okay.
in a way, or we don't remember. Let's say, for example, the person starts freaking out every time the person sees a train and doesn't really know why.
Okay.
During traumatic events, the body will protect itself. The brain will protect, the mind or the brain will protect itself from that traumatic event. Hence, not remembering it somehow. But for some reason, signs will trigger certain things. Event will trigger something, and there's a certain behavior that comes in. This is more to deal with the psychoanalytic model of psychology.
Okay.
Um, for us, we just work on the behavior itself. We see a maladaptive behavior that we could actually see. We work on that, but we don't work with the mind in a
I see.
sense. Um, the psychoanalytic community does, you know, and psychology has two aspects to it. It has the scientific, the regiment, no such thing as private events in that sense.
No such thing as private events. Okay.
Well, as far as the behaviors, I shouldn't say that, but really data science driven. And then you have another part of psychology where is the, I call it the psychoanalytic model, the vernacular of the individual. The culture, the day-to-day things that happens with our
Interesting.
social interactions, and their environment, their social world, how they interpret those things. So the psychologist, which God willing, hopefully I'll become, one
Oh,
day,
yes, I'm sure.
have to wrestle between these two aspects of psychology.
Frank, I believe I've detected a certain behavior in my social interactions with actual females of
Hmm.
challenging them. Uh, any thoughts on that? Challenging them as far as getting them to open up to who I am.
The question is why not males?
Males, for some reason, I just feel much more at ease with. And I would guess that, I don't know, I just have was a comedy with males, a comedy that I just get along with males, but females, when I encounter them, usually they avert their eyes, don't really want to like make eye contact with me. Um, they don't smile. I detect fear on their part, right? I'm 6'2", you know, I'm about 200 pounds right now, so I might look
Mhm.
very threatening to them. So hence, when I see them like in some sort of social interaction, let's say at the gym or something, I'll take pains to challenge them by saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" And it will continue. We'll start a conversation, and then I'll demand for them to tell me what they are doing in their lives right now. And then I've discovered at that point they start opening up and warming up to me, smiling,
Mhm.
knowing that I'm interested in who they are. Is that
And,
like a
and
behavior on my part that I'm like aiming specifically at females?
I think that's your way of approaching a female. You know, you have a particular, and in a sense, it's we do it too. I think when we approach a female, we approach it differently than a male. And I think females do the same thing. In
Do
a sense.
females want to be challenged? I have a deep-rooted belief that they do.
Well, it depends. It depends on their persona in a way.
Okay, yes.
You
I
know,
believe
some
females want to be challenged in order for them to prove who they are to me, and they enjoy that. Is that just, am I way off the charts with
No,
that
I
one?
think subconsciously,
Okay.
maybe that's what you're attracted to.
Okay, I'm attracted to challenging
Yes,
females.
a particular type of female where they're a certain type of persona that you're actually attracted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just like to offer to our listeners also when like a female trainer or somebody tells me to do something, I find myself immediately doing it. So isn't there like some sort of inverse to that? It's like I'm working
Yeah.
out and they say, raise your head up. I'll do it, as per request.
So it sounds like to me you like strong. I
Alpha.
shouldn't say strong, but I think a certain type of female, a very extroverted female, in a
Okay.
sense.
In our society, on the general, are women asked to be assertive? I don't think so.
No, I think it's quite opposite. I think they're, with it's funny because I did a paper on this. When they're small, we kind of try to condition females into be very submissive, very introverted
Yes.
by the type of toys we market and the type of programs. And you have to act a certain way, you have to present yourself a certain way. Um, the question lies, is this is something that we've been doing before the commercials, which I think we have, because we actually are conditioning boys a certain way of being rough, being
Assertive.
assertive, very extroverted, and you can see it through the toys that kids have. Um,
Art. Sports.
exactly,
Schooling.
exactly. Now, the question is this something innate, and hence we're expressing, our personalities in a way, or our certain persona, our repertoire in a sense. Or is this something that we are just conditioning people to do because this is what we expect from society? And you know, I think they go hand in hand. Uh,
Frank, you had an excellent hangout on lucid dreaming, and this thing came
mhm.
to my mind where I offered up that I, choose purposely not to remember my dreams.
I thought about that too.
Okay, well, Frank, what is the value of certain memories? I think I know for sure that I block out certain memories in my experience.
Mhm.
Is that a healthy thing to do? Or is that just a thing that we have no control over?
I think to block out certain things that you don't want to see is a defense mechanism of something that happened, in the past where it was a very vivid experience. Um, and what dreams do, they they would bring those things out in an
Yes.
abstract way, hence triggering a emotion, a feeling, something, and it a lot of times is very aversive. So yeah, I could understand why you don't want to look at certain things or you want to remember your dreams. However, they come out in certain ways that we don't know about.
Okay,
Yeah.
you were telling me that the subconscious, is it some sort of memory recall?
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. You could say something, but it's something that it could be suppressed. I think it's more about suppression of certain thoughts or events or history.
Okay, I exhibit this behavior of challenging females. Is that some sort of memory that I'm pulling forth?
Yes, yes, exactly. This is all within the Freud model.
All right. Okay, so I should take pains to reconcile with that memory
When you're ready.
when I'm ready. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you please tell our listeners about getting ready to deal with problematic experiences in one's life? One should
There-
always do that with a professional, or can one do that by themselves?
I would prefer a professional
All right.
just to make sense of it. Just so that's my opinion. You know, I did it with ayahuasca.
Right.
I did it that way.
Oh, could you just tell our listeners, could you just, describe to them what that
Ayahuasca is a hallucinogen from, usually is found in South America.
okay.
So the the Amazonian tribes, they use it to enhance experiences or talk with nature in a sense, part of the religious practices. But the component in ayahuasca is DMT, dimethyltryptamine,
All right.
which is maybe the strongest hallucinogen in the world.
It's a mind expanding experience.
Oh yes, yes, mind very mind expanding. And went down there, and me and my friend, we were young, and we were we tripped before. We did LSD and
Right. Mushrooms.
mushrooms and all that good stuff. And I found out about a guy about Terrence McKenna. I don't know if anybody ever knows him, but he's like a psychonaut, you
Okay.
know. And
Psychonaut.
yeah, like I said, they call it, yeah. And he was talking about his experiences about with DMT, and I was like, man, we got to try this stuff out. My told my friend, and my friend just we got 1 week. It was like, yo, I got 2 tickets to Peru. Boom, we just went.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a great time, and what I expected was totally different. It was not so much about the trip itself, but it was more about. It felt like a cleansing. It felt like I was just cleansed out.
A cathartic moment?
Yeah, it's really. I remember, and when I first took it, I just started crying. I wasn't tripping. I just started crying, and I felt guilt of how.
Crying and guilt.
Yeah, I felt like how much of an asshole I was.
All
Like
right.
I can't believe I treated people this way. I can't believe, and I just started opening up,
Right.
and I couldn't explain it. It felt like I was a new person. It felt like this weight was off my shoulders, like literally, like I felt like,
Were
and
you
yeah,
reborn?
you could call it like a rebirth. Yeah, you could call it like I call it more of a transition.
A transition.
Yeah, I call it more of a transition. But in order for me to transit to my development as a human being, I
Right.
needed to get all this gunk out of me. That's how I felt. It basically felt like I was cleaned out. And yes, I started tripping, but that was besides the point. Is how it changed. It just changed my life. Like I remember, when I came back to the States, the first thing I did was just call my dad and tell him sorry. First
Okay.
words I told him. First words, and I I remember I I was consistently holding grudges
Okay.
towards my dad, and I just held grudges. Anything that happened to me, I just held a grudge, and I didn't. I took things way too personally. You know, but after that, it's just like,
You progressed. You moved on.
yeah, I was like, there's nothing to hold on to.
You said a transition.
Mhm.
Transhumanism?
You could say that. That's a nice way to put it. Even though that's not what it means, but yeah, you're
Okay.
transcendent. Yeah,
Could the ayahuasca experience lend itself to technology?
it can, but you see, with ayahuasca, the experiences with people are for them. They're different. You know, they will get out of what they're asking that plant. It's weird. It's like almost asking that plant what you want, or
Interesting.
yeah, if something. Because I remember the shaman, he said something about you know ask what do you want the plant to do for
Interesting.
you? And I was like, you asked the plant, I want to trip balls. That's all I want to do.
Right.
Yeah. Um, but I think there was something in me that wanted to be cured and wanted to be healed, which that
Right.
was initially that was not my intent, but I was so like I don't have to do ayahuasca ever again. You do this once or twice and you're good.
You're
And
good.
that's the good thing about psychedelics is like you don't like, oh, I got to go trip. No,
There's
it's
no
not like
addiction
that.
whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no, it's a beautiful thing. And, with LSD and mushrooms, I think it helped me out tremendously. I haven't done it for a long time, but I'm actually very grateful that I have done it. And that was
Frank,
my therapy. Yeah, that was basically my therapy in a way.
treating the mind expanding experience as a machine, is that, going towards transhumanism?
Well, with transhumanism is how we relate to technology.
Right.
Right now, us talking in this type of
Medium.
forum is I call it this a transhumanistic ritual.
Interesting.
Yes, because we're using technology to communicate with each other, and that changes a lot about our psyche and our behaviors. And it's something that you see on the subway or you see on the street. People are on their phones, and years ago when this technology wasn't there, people were a little different. But technology, in a way, changes us, changes our behavior. That's why there was a big interest on transhumanism. And the first time I heard the term
Right.
was from a guy, I'll say his name, Mike Phelps.
Mike
I
Phelps.
think it's yeah, I think he's called the neo-atheist. And he talked about transhumanism, and then when he explained it really quick, but I was like, what did he just say? There's that what? And I got into it. I was like, this is amazing. Talking about prosthetics, like electronic prosthetics. They're talking about with the pacemaker itself.
Right.
Yeah,
Bionic machine.
bionics, machines, and we're interacting with these machines. Um, and it's something. I don't know if people are really looking at this, but I think this is an extremely important subject. And I even created a community, with this subject, because I think it's extremely important because we're going towards that direction of transhumanism. I think this is the next step of our evolutionary development, in a sense.
Of man itself.
Yeah.
Frank, inventing psychotherapeutic machines. That is in our near future. Pleasure machines.
Pleasure machines. I would say, thinking about that pleasure machine thing, there's an episode on Futurama that you
All
got to
right.
check out where they built these robots, and they got into these relationships with them,
Yes, of course. Natural.
and natural, and the population was withering down in a sense because people were not they was just interacting
Right.
with these pleasure bots.
The machines
Uh,
replace the species.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I always say like treat your machines well.
Right.
Because they're going to be part of us. They're going to be something, and we should take care of these things. And that's why I'm so into the Japanese mindset, because they make a lot of anime about these certain topics, about
They make
these
a lot of machines.
these cyborg not cyborgs, but artificial intelligence, these robots that think and speak and have emotions and have feelings,
True.
and are we going to say that they're not human, or they are not, they're not sentient or what
Sentient.
have you? So I will say yes, they are. They're just as human as us. Artificially or non-artificially,
Okay.
because yeah,
Artificials have rights. Robots have rights.
correct.
Machines have rights.
Machines, when we talk about machines, are we talking about artificial intelligence, or are we talking about just
Well, you tell me. I mean, is there
I think,
certain
yeah, I think robots who could think, they could actually question their own existence, not just do it when but actually have thoughts like us, think like us. They have rights,
Machines that contribute to our quality of life, we should respect.
of course. We should respect everything. We should have respect for nature. We should have respect for our cars, We shouldn't just not take care of things. We have to, you know.
Having respect. Okay, we want to afford uh, respect to our machines, so we don't end up treating people like machines.
Well,
Like,
hopefully that definition could change. We'll say when we talk about treating machines, we're talking about treating them with respect instead of garbage.
like have I treated people within my experience as a machine, as a pleasure machine? That is wrong.
I think so. I think he's even wrong for yourself
Okay, how's that
because
unhealthy to treat people like pleasure machines?
it becomes one dimensional. It
One
becomes
dimensional.
yeah, it becomes in a sense it becomes mundane. You're going to get bored of it, if you keep doing. Maybe at first it's so exciting and exhilarating, but at one point we're like, what the hell am I doing?
Well, people have a
Right?
tendency to abuse their machines, right?
Yeah, but
I
people abuse themselves too.
Okay.
Yeah, people, they don't take care of themselves. They abuse themselves because there's something within them that definitely needs help. Um, so to treat a machine that way or treat anything like that, I don't know if you ever heard the phrase. It's like if you want to know how a person thinks, just look inside their car.
Oh, really? Go ahead, keep going.
It's just a freaking mess. The brain's a freaking
Right.
yeah. So but I'm not saying there's any correlation, but that type of phrase. But to just treat something as a pleasure, Bob. What's the fun? You said something about being challenged, right?
Right.
I think human beings like that. They like to explore. They like to experience new things. They don't want to be. When we say robot, you're talking about something repetitive over and over and over again.
Yes.
So that in that sense, I think as human beings, we don't want to live that way, you know. And if robots do it, then robots do it. But if a robot is a sentient artificial intelligence that actually experiences things that we experience and then tries to go out there and just don't want to be a machine, but wants to be more than a machine, we try to be transcendent in a way. We try to
Right.
go beyond ourselves. Then who is for us to stop something like that? Even with people.
Interesting, Frank. Frank, you're a very interesting person. Could you please tell me what your designs are for 2015?
Well, start going back to school. I'm actually in a school right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so going to go back to school, start on my doctorate, trying to do my dissertation, and you know,
Any ideas or none yet?
I'm messing around with a couple things, but if I have something for sure, then I definitely will talk about it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. The higher education experience is distinct from our great debate community because there's a sort of rigor applied to university work and the
Yes.
university experience. Um, how you're used to rigor on the academic scale. Now, when you encounter people on G plus who are talking about things and they bristle when they're asked if they really know what they're talking about, I mean, is there a certain way of handling that as an analyst?
Well, if it's a something within school and work, there's a certain type of, but Google Plus is almost like the Wild West in the sense you're going to get everything.
Yes.
So I don't want to put rules and ethics,
Okay.
as far
Well,
as people communicating with each other. I, let it happen organically.
yes, let it happen
Yeah.
very organically. Okay,
Yeah.
when we encounter people, should we take pains to counter people that are when we know definitely that they're when they don't know what they're talking about? Or should we just observe? Should we let them hang themselves, or should we actually, offer the alternative view that they don't know what they're talking about?
Well, it's all contingent upon how you say it.
Okay, that's very
Yeah,
good. Tactfully.
yeah. Not to say, and I don't like to think of myself as smart or knowing better because that's
Right.
besides the point. Um, the reason why I talk the way I do is because of the rigor, because of the work that I do. But it doesn't mean that a person that doesn't have this type of training, their thoughts are invalid. It's just trying to come across it. And then if there's any way I can help, I will definitely would if the person wants me to. Yeah. So uh, I'm very flexible in that sense. Um, there are times where I did get frustrated because especially
Okay.
when it come into my field and people are diagnosing other people and diagnosing themselves, and I'm like, look, man, please,
Leave that to
let's try.
professionals.
Yeah, and I try to tell them, but if they're not willing to do that, if they're not willing to really see it that way, then I just take a step back and just yeah.
Excellent, Frank.
Well,
Frank, let me go ahead and end the interview right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll open it up to participants. Can
sure,
you hold on, Frank? Thanks, Frank.
no problem. Yeah, I'll be right back too. Whoa. Hey, what's up, Dust? Scared the shit out of me right there, bro.
Boo. How are you fine lads doing tonight?
Good, good, man. Doing all right. How you been?
I was just in Nadia's hangout, so there you go.
For how many hours? Die. What's
It
going
was it
on?
was over an hour, and there was multiple fights, dude. There was drama was ensuing. It was interesting.
I'm sure it was.
I just sit back and keep my mouth shut and laugh.
Really? You
Yeah,
know?
usually, man. I don't have time, dude. I don't have time to deal with your drama.
Yeah. Hey, Style, what's going on, man?
Hey guys,
Good.
not much updates, modeling, fucking crazy college shit. Listen to some fucking whack music. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Doing all right.
How'd the interview go? I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I think it went okay. It went good.
What'd you talk about, if you don't mind me asking?
Damn, it was like four subjects. I basically what I do and about my profession a little bit. We talked a little bit about people in Google Plus, the way you see things, I guess, and it was just an interview with me. So I think Bunto will.
Did you get
I
all
don't know.
deep
I
and, and did you get all deep and like mystical and stuff, dude?
Not so much mystical, but I think I got deep. There was some mystical parts in it, but it was just more about philosophy in a way. Like it's weird, but it was nice. And it's funny because we kind of talked about a little bit before and what kind of questions I had to agree with. And Bunto did a great job because he actually before, it's not like just somebody just interviewing me. It was just somebody who was just like, all right, this is what we're going to talk about. Is this cool? It's cool. It's cool. So like, all right, yeah, yeah. So it was good. So I wouldn't get like sidetracked and like, what?
No, Bunto's pretty organized
Yeah.
when he does these things. He knows what he wants to talk about. He lays it all out for you, and you better do it or...
I know, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I was at Brett King's hangout. I think I forgot the girl's name. She's a RN.
Are you talking about Michael Ann?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It says RN. Yeah, registered nurse. She said, "Are you nervous?" Like, no. I say, "Should I be?" Like, no. Yeah. Somebody else like interviewed me before. Chaz. He interviewed me, but I don't think that went well because I had to go. I was at Barnes and Nobles, and it was really loud, and my internet connection was really shitty. But this one was more copacetic. I was prepared for this one, so it was good.
What went through your mind when Bunto asked you to interview you? What was the first thoughts that came into your mind?
I don't know. I didn't. At first, I was just like, okay. But then I thought about it. Later on, I was like, how's... But you know what? I expected the way I expected it. It didn't get crazy. So, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Faith?
Oh my God, you guys, I just got kicked out of the room. I feel like shit. I'm such a loser.
It'll be
Talking
okay.
about what room?
It's a
It's
rough and
okay.
tumble.
Welcome to the blessed order, me.
Guys, you have no idea how much I miss you. Oh my God, I so
Oh,
love you. How are you doing?
I'm not
Like,
dead,
how's
so
your
that's,
leg?
that's
Oh my
yeah. I was gonna
gosh.
say I'm not dead, so that's good.
Oh, I hate this. I'm gonna leave now, Stizer. I feel like such a loser. Holy shit.
God
No.
bless
no,
you.
don't leave, don't leave, don't leave.
What room
Come
did
on,
you get
no,
kicked
stay
out of?
here.
Great. Whose room was it? It wasn't like Gary's or something, was it?
Which room you got kicked out of?
No, you know Gary Leslie. You wouldn't do that. This is fucking Nadia. You were right. I'm such a loser.
What the fuck are you doing in Natty's room? God, I do warn you about these people.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it. I just feel like, fuck you. Like, fuck that, man. Like, you were right. Like, you were
Okay.
just right. Listened.
You know,
What happens is that we get emotionally attached to people in the G plus community, right, Frank? And then when things go not so well, we feel pain for it.
Well, if you're hurt, of course you're gonna feel some
I've been
pain.
feeling pain for weeks. G plus
I know.
on my head.
Like, it's not like you offered money. It's not like you're stupid like me. Like, I'm someone who, like, fuck, I'll put myself in, like, $300, $400 debt, shit like that. I can't really afford that, but, like, when I care, I care. Like, I just try to make sure someone can get through the day.
Right.
You know, like, I shouldn't be worried about whether someone else can put food. You know, like, if they can't even fucking brush their own teeth or stop fucking drinking Mountain Dew and alcohol. Like, really, why am I worried if I'm paying for their fucking cigarettes?
Right. Okay. How long have you known Nadia, Faith? Ballpark?
As
Come on,
long as
Saunders.
Stizer has. Stizer warned me right away. He said, "What are you doing?" This is like a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't have a track of time. I was in a hotel. You know,
So, I mean, give the ballpark.
made a
listeners.
bond with the wrong person. I just feel like, oh man, like I didn't take advice when I should have. I wasted a lot of time.
And money, probably.
Okay, well, Sty, would you say it's like at least over a year?
Stizer, time enough for you to fucking.
Yeah, but I've known Nadia for like at least going on 3 years. She's
Right, I've known
never
Nadia.
changed.
2013.
Yeah, about me, we've known her for a long time, but
Well, it's
she's-
Brett
she's
Keane that
still the
fucking
same.
like it really like Stizer. No, it's Brett Keane. Like I've known of him like since like fucking like seriously. Like I'm part of Rant Race like 2000, and Brett Keane comes at me like a fucking freak. He's been chasing me forever, and all of a sudden he gets one window, and like what does he do? It's like kind of like it's like hard. Like I'm just trying to be like, I don't like the way he communicates, so I don't want him communicating with me, so I just like reject it altogether. Like, go fuck yourself, Brett. And whatever. And then all of a sudden, it looks like I am the aggressor. He can change the conversation and make it look like I'm trying to attack him. Like, come on, man. I hate that guy.
Okay, Frank, we analyzed the behavior of Brett Keane in order to understand him, his approach.
The shows are very polarizing, I think.
Yes.
That's the only thing I could really, contribute to that. So I don't know.
Okay, Brett Keane does what Brett Keane does because, I mean, what is the point of Brett Keane? Does he fill a niche in our community, or does he do what he does just for the sake of doing what he does?
That I'm not sure, but it's very polarizing, and it's a very
like, if Brett Keane wasn't Brett Keane, would we be shocked? I would. He goes to sleep Brett Keane, he wakes up somebody else. Would we be, shaken?
Yeah. Take, for me, case in point, like if I come in and hang out and just start fucking cursing everybody out.
You tried that.
That's how the character.
Hey, I do that. Get off my stool, bitch. That's my job. Get off my stool.
Okay, Sty, let me ask you, if Brett Keane reached out to you now, would you accept it, or would you be telling him to get back into character?
To be honest, the thing is, right, I've reached out to Brett Keane when in my heyday of being like even more of a troll than I normally am. And the guy was just like, yeah, I don't trust you. But I didn't have any malice towards him. I've seen everything about Brett Keane.
Right.
Or most of it anyway. So I was just like, well, I'm not going to judge the guy. He had nothing to do to me. He never did me wrong. So I was just like, well, let's see if people were right.
Same. Like, I've known of him since Rant Radio Style. You know that I've known, like, 1997, on and on and on. Like, we've been on the radio state, like Rant Radio. I've known of Brett Keane's voice, like, since before 2000. It's nothing new to me. I don't have a problem with him until now.
Right.
Like, he had no reason to call me out. And what was he calling me out on?
Okay,
yeah,
let me
that's
say.
The thing, though, if you engage yourself in that kind of shenanigans, you're gonna get caught up in it, kind of thing. That's why I try and avoid shit like that. Like,
are you talking the exact same thing?
That's right, sir. That's right.
So sure, okay. Then what? Then I'm publicly admitting that I appreciate your help last summer, Styles. I guess that took me 365 days to catch on.
Yeah, I did once, so that's a bad idea. But you can't tell someone not to do shit, and they have to find out for themselves. So it doesn't make any sense.
I didn't tell them to do shit. I just said respect Nadia's room. I get a little bit sick and tired of the fucking prick coming in and spewing his shit all over, like putting his Google links and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, but Nadia takes it. It's not like Nadia stops it. So you were right.
Okay, I know why. I know why that happened.
Yep,
and then they called out Bunto for like however long over something.
They're like the same person. Yeah, but Nadia and Brett Keane are one of the emotional vampires. Brett Keane's a bit different. He likes money to go with it.
No, man, they're after money. They're emotional vampires.
I know.
Oh, well, how about this, guys? I know why Nadia does not worry about Brett Keane in her hangout, because Brett Keane will only bother you if he can touch you. Like, if you go in a controversy. Let's say, like, you go into a hangout where he has mod controls, you know that he has the power to touch you by throwing you out at any time. Right? But in the Nadia hangout, he doesn't have that power.
No, he feeds off of attention, man. I can't stand the guy.
Brojo, welcome.
It gets him more views. And people like that who like to make controversy like it because people will eventually start clicking on their shit and it makes them money. Well, they think it makes them money.
Okay, Brett Keane always starts an approach with a question. Have other people noticed this?
Yeah, he asks me every time I go in the room. He's like, well, you're not an atheist, so what are you? I'm just like...
Someone else I know does that.
Yeah, I wonder who Brojo... But isn't that a staple of his approach, that he begins with some, a question, maybe obscure, and then he'll vamp off that?
Yes, quite leading.
Like Bunto, yeah.
Okay, Brett Keane...
Must come spring, Venture.
Trolling. Okay, trolling.
God.
What?
Yeah.
Speaking
We
of
did
trolling,
talk about
That's
trolling a bit.
I like
direct.
his uniform. Leave him alone. I
What the
like his uniform.
Okay, Stizer, you revealed that you were much more of a troll earlier, right?
exception?
No, Dizer's always been beautiful. What are you guys talking
No,
about?
I have got a way about me that's very
Seems to
trollish.
lose the game.
Sing it,
Yeah,
brother.
That guy,
Sing it.
that guy,
You
Even
are beautiful choice, Dizer.
that's not even a troll.
Seriously.
Congratulations.
Hey, oh,
Oh, it's
Saint
the second
Tommy
person
is
I've ever
here.
detected.
Hey, Tommy, hi. Where's your icon? How come I can see your writing but I can't see your chat? That's
No,
Saint.
Brecking's just hated. People just think I'm annoying. There's a difference.
Not annoying, you know. You're not annoying. You've
Well,
never
that's
been
fine.
annoying, Stizer. That's not what it is. People are annoyed that you're probably right most of the time. That's what they're annoyed with.
I agree, Faith.
I don't shut up most of the time. So.
Okay, Stizer, why do people troll in our community? What's in it for them?
I think it's just sheer boredom, really, more than anything
Boredom?
else. Boredom.
Reaction.
Well, no, I just think because most of the topics tend to be the same old, which is did God make the universe infinitum? It's like, well, what else are you gonna do but control the same people who argue every single day about the same fucking subject? And it's not even like they're doing anything productive with that actual question. They're just saying, shall we keep asking it the same question over and over? So, if they made a community that like went out and did something with that information, maybe
Right.
I'd be a bit more caring. But because they just sit in their chairs all day and just waffle on, yeah, I haven't got much fucking time really. I do like to
Okay.
partake in it though. It passes the time.
Okay, well, we all agree that there's a spectrum of trolling. There's trolling just to be annoying, and then there's trolling to expose idiocy. Like, Stizer, when you hear people go on about philosophy and they don't know what they're talking about, you troll them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've never proclaimed to have read all these crazy books that other people have. You say, well, I know philosophy or the Callum cosmological, like Matt Bell and these type of guys. It's just like I would just rather use common sense. It's helped me so far. So
Okay. Do you mind the trolls on G Plus, or do you tire of them, or you just ignore them?
I like them. As soon as they annoy you, that means they've already got to you. You never feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls. Anyone?
First lesson of the day: never feed the troll.
Feed them if you've got something practical to feed them, if you feel like it.
Yeah,
Okay. Should we reach out to trolls, or are they trolls just trolls?
If you
But
feel like
I think they serve a purpose. I think they serve a purpose just because they're there. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be well, it can be practical in the sense like G-Man's hangouts or someone who's just up their own ass. I love trolling people who are so well educated that they can't tie their own shoelace. They're the best.
All right, they're the best targets.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
well,
they're so blind to just even jokes. They're so stuck up that they can't take a joke. Yeah, they're humorless basically. Yeah. That's all.
okay, Frank, an objective of the troll is to elicit lulz, humor. Is that healthy for a community?
Why not? Should be in the proper context, but
A troll's not supposed to, and a troll is not supposed to be malice. A troll's supposed to get shits and giggles. But
yeah,
as soon
that's
as you
the.
go past it, it can get too annoying.
But I think sometimes, well, the conversation that I got, it was very malicious. But I guess there could be good trolls in a way. That's
A good
something.
troll. Well, a good
yeah,
troll should frustrate you, but at the same time, still be engaging in a conversation, but still kind of like be frustrating. Like he will, like a troll will engage and then ask a randomly pointless question.
Okay, well, I'll give you
Because
an example.
Bunto does that. That's why I know Bunto's a troll, because he does that. I've noticed him do it loads of times. I just sat there going, you fucking troll.
Okay, I'll
I
give you
think
an
it's funny.
example. Okay, the room full of faith believers, you go in, the atheist goes in just to ask them, where's God? That's trolling?
no.
In some respects, sometimes it
Yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
You can't do that. If I went in G-Man's room and said, "Where's God?" That's me being a troll. I should know better. Come on, you know. That's me
Okay,
trolling
well-
myself, if anything. I should
Dude,
know
G-Man
better.
wants to get milked. G-Man's a lulz cow, and when you're a lulz cow, you love having your udders milked and having your milk out there just as much as
Who says
know,
that?
G-Man's
Yeah,
having
yes,
just
I
as
want
much
to rub
fun.
that. Lyrics. Can I copyright that?
Can
Lol's
I
cow.
get that too? I want that. I want that.
That's going on my Facebook in a minute.
Yes.
Lol's
Okay.
cow.
G-Man should have a high tolerance for trolling by now, right? So it's fair game.
He loves it.
No, yeah, you don't
loves
understand, Bunto. He loves getting his udders pulled, dude. He loves flipping out. He loves getting attention, dude. He wants you to milk him, dude. That's why he hosts these hangouts and says the shit he says.
So,
That's
okay,
what I'm saying. That's why I think it's attention in some regards. I think that people, if you notice, like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna sound acceptable to many of you guys, but it probably is. People in here haven't really got social lives in the sense of outside of their house. Most of the people in here spend their social memes on the web. That's just the truth. Because
Frank,
most
is that
people with
a sign-
normal lives don't actually sit on their computer as much as we do.
Speak for yourself. Speak for
Frank,
That's speaking for
is that a
everybody.
sign of transhumanism, Frank, that we have no social lives outside of
This is the social life.
so it's transhumanism.
This is a social life, actually.
Dusty, welcome. The voice.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, that sounds beautiful, man.
Voice. Okay.
That is beautiful.
Okay, you let Barry White in the room. Get out. Get out.
Ah, stop the whole room.
Alrighty.
Keep talking, dude.
What's up, fellas?
Oh,
Keep it
wow.
on,
That's sexual. That's sexual, that is.
That's what I say, dude.
Sexual healing.
I feel sexual.
Imagine
Okay,
him and
is it the
imagine him and Mouty in a fucking porno. That's it. That's it. I'm thinking of quitting.
Well, I was going to ask, okay, let me ask everybody, including Stizer, don't you think G Plus is essentially a pleasure machine that we've invented?
It is definitely.
Yes.
It's porn without the sticky side of it.
It's not porn.
Right
Well,
porn.
someday we'll provide.
Sky is the philosopher.
It's a love machine.
Okay, we're deriving pleasure from G Plus. That's healthy. Frank, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
You could be a Christian and sin as much as you want.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, why do Christians even exist in our community? I mean, does it make sense to anybody?
Oh, that's
Is that a
unfair.
trolling question?
Why does religion even exist in the community? I mean, what utility does it serve if we're getting pleasure from G Plus?
Dude, it's kind of the other way around, dude.
Conversation.
There's more religious people in the world than there are atheists, dude. They tolerate us.
Yeah,
to the
that's right.
church
That's
of
what makes it so
Plus.
fun.
Come to the Church of G Plus and receive.
Okay, Ermine is deriving pleasure from her belief in Jesus, right?
Amen.
I'm essentially a troll by questioning that.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I was waiting for the
No.
lemon and chicken jokes, but oh well.
Okay, why should I interdict in her pleasure?
Because you feel like it.
call it okay, because I feel like it.
What was
Yeah.
that
He's
word?
a part of the social group, so shoot, I can jump in there and dink around with it.
I was just gonna
Well-
say you ain't black enough, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she'd say.
Okay. Frank,
now I'm trolling. What? What?
okay.
This hangout is out of control, dude.
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
Toughest.
Order in the court.
Just a love machine.
Social interactions, Frank. Is it fair to
Nobody but me.
Yeah, this hangout went upside down, man.
anyone?
I wish I had one of them radio buttons now that actually had Love Machine on tap where I could just press the key and it would literally play the tune.
Oh,
At least the section
soundboard.
of
Where's
it.
Hades?
Yeah, a soundboard with Love Machine on it, that'd be fucking awesome.
Frank,
Alrighty.
I think you've been ambushed.
I want a bobblehead ball.
Okay, well, let me ask Brojo a quick question. It always comes to mind. Okay, you have the God Talk Hangouts, right,
I
Brojo?
shouldn't open my mouth. What? What's
Right,
that?
Brojo? You have the God Talk Hangouts?
Yes,
Put
I
away.
did.
Okay,
Deny.
you would bristle if they got off topic?
I'm sorry?
I mean, you wouldn't like it if they got off topic, right? Other than God? Because you take
I just
pains
thought-
to make sure they're talking about God.
No, I format it differently. We have a topic, bring people in to talk about the topic, and then we go off air for all the silliness.
Even when it gets boring.
Well, if it gets boring, I cut it short.
Okay, you
cut it short. You just cut your losses, and that's it. Hey.
Ava Nagila, baby.
Matter of fact, Frank will be on God Talk this week.
Where the fat girls?
He's doing the tour this week, Frank.
Where's the fuck?
2 interviews in 1 week. I think that's a little bit too much.
Okay, what type of people do you like having on your show, Brojo? Religious types?
All are invited.
All are invited.
That's a lie. If I said let me be
Mostly
a
all
guest,
invited.
like nope.
Mostly all invited.
They do, mostly.
Sly is taking us somewhere else sometimes, yes.
I would crash that shit and it would burn instantly. Admit it. I am an epic troll. Sorry. I know.
You're a troll by nature, good sir.
No, but you know what the thing is, right? People know it, and they still just put up with me anyway. That's the thing is, like, you can be a part of a community and annoy the fuck out of everybody, but there comes a point where you can be hated by the community, like Brett Keane, because they are disingenuous.
Brett Keane's Brett Keane, man.
Praise Brett Keane.
I love that little kitty.
King of Brett.
Pet me.
Okay, everybody. We enjoy G Plus just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Or should it be, improved?
No, it's only the lag should, because I always talk over people.
That's what you want out of it.
You're improving it. Yes, you.
What's up, Vladimir? Aw, you kicked the biggest
Oh,
troll.
dude, I know Vlad, dude.
I
Don't
know.
move Vlad.
Okay, I'll say my reason. People want to play games. I can play along.
No, Vladimir's a real person, dude. I know him.
Yeah,
Dude,
troll.
He's funny, but he's still a troll. He's no.
Yeah, he's
troll?
a troll, dude, but that's his real profile.
Yeah, I know.
It's like his non-trolley profile.
Oh, such a thing exists. Okay.
No, that's actually his proper account. Just saying. But anywho.
Yes.
Please open the floor, anyone.
Just a love machine.
What's the oldest religion?
My
Communism.
Hinduism.
Dinosaur's religion, yeah.
I thought Hinduism was like the oldest practicing religion.
My religion is the oldest because it has no starting point or no
I got
ending
you.
point. It's all in the mind. It starts whenever you want it to and finishes whenever you want it to. Mainly when you wake up and go to sleep.
Is it a
Whatever that
philosophical religion?
Yeah. Which means it can change and adapt according to someone's opinion.
Hey guys, I have to go. But
Thanks, Frank, for
I
the
really
interview.
enjoyed it.
It was
Guys, I'll
great.
see you later, man.
Hey Frank, do us a favor, dude. Hit me up because I'm sorry I missed the last one about lucid dreaming. I was here, but I got here too late. So if you want to try and do that again, I will definitely join next time. But try not to do it on a Sunday, dude. Please. For the love of Jesus.
Is Saturday night okay with you?
Saturday is a lot better because it's followed by a Sunday. Hence
Okay,
weekend.
cool.
College
I would
of-
love to talk about lucid dreaming.
All right, I'll do
me and
another
Green
one.
is
Frank's your
that shit,
man.
Yeah,
so. Sets up again then, Green Soul.
no
Part
problem.
2 or something.
All right, no problem. Not this week, but the next week after, I'll do a hangout on dreaming again. This is 3 in a row that I've been doing on dreaming because
Yeah, but I
everybody
haven't
else.
been to the other one though.
That's
so.
the thing. I really
It
wanted.
was supposed to
be
be
on
me
the
and you
last
talking about it the first time, right?
Yeah,
missed
but
it
I
twice
got
now.
this other dude that's actually a lucid dreamer, so he's
Ah, okay, that's
yeah,
okay.
he's really keen up on it. But all right, I'll see what I can do.
Alright
Take
then,
care.
peace out, Frank.
All right,
Speak
peace.
soon.
Okay, Sty, you had some time off in the community, and then you came back. Did anything improve?
Mhm. No. No. Apart from my
Did you
leg,
know-
that's about it. But I don't think that's involved yet, really. I haven't uploaded my time lapse of my leg yet, so no.
Oh my goodness. Okay, did you miss it?
Um, Yeah, and no, I miss the controversy in some ways. I know that sounds stupid, but I do. I miss like the back and forth, some side 10 videos that I didn't
Right.
really get, and I've had to go back and watch them, and that's been funny. Um, some of the conversations I've seen have been really interesting and enlightening in that regards to opinions and in the sense some philosophical points. So yeah, I
Oh,
have missed some good combos.
okay. Were
I
you
do.
missed?
No,
I think so. I made sure to send you messages, just wondering how the heck you were
no one
doing.
misses me, dude. Don't lie.
Nobody missed you. Was that true?
I
Yeah,
missed you 1.3% when I thought about you. Well, more
me
than
too.
that, actually.
I
100%.
was in Hangouts and people mentioned you multiple times, asking where you were.
Where you
Yeah,
were?
but that probably wasn't in a good way. That's probably where does he
No, no,
felt
it was
what he
it
thought
was a
he.
worried, concerned way. Like Sty left. We knew
Face
about
it.
his leg.
Oh no, I didn't die again. No, that's fine.
It's
No, we
scientific.
didn't think you died.
Well, not yet anyway. Fuck's sake, give it time. Give it at least another year. Probably die again. Come back to life. Fucking knows.
Okay, has there been improvement, or we just don't know yet with the leg?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, leg's fine. Go back to college after Easter, so it's all good.
All right.
Actually, I change it myself now, as gruesome as it looks.
All right.
So, but yeah, I do miss hangouts when I'm around. Like, I had a good hangout the other day in Nick's. I did troll, admittedly, a little bit. Okay, maybe more than a little bit. I had an entire bottle of Jack Daniels to myself, so it was probably a little bit more than a little bit. So,
Well, okay. Who? Just to ask, Stizer, who is like your opponent, your counterpart on G Plus? Is there anybody who specifically targets you as far as a debate opponent?
no,
Are you
not
like
really.
Roy Montero?
No one ever really. I'm not that smart enough to be targeted for any philosophical reason. Mainly because I don't know a lot of any one thing. I know a lot about a lot of things, which is a bit different.
Okay, you get in a
So,
hangout, and Shamos is the first one to counter whatever you put forward.
no, I mean, I'm well known for the whole axiom thing, right? So, well, no, it's true. If something gets raised, okay, I've noticed this, right? And this is not a joke. I've noticed since I started using that word, everybody else has started using that word, which is
All
kind of
right,
ironic.
the fad caught on.
Yeah, it caught on because it's a well documented way how to counteract someone's I believe shit. You know, it's not saying that their belief isn't well founded in whatever they think to be true. It's just it doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that your belief is valid. Doesn't mean that it's like gravity. It's not objective. That's all I use it for. I'm not trying to say that you're not allowed to believe in God or whatever. You are. Just don't make. Just don't think it doesn't apply to me because it doesn't. Gravity applies to me,
Right.
but
Okay,
your belief system doesn't, kind of thing.
certain hangouts, right? Like an Ozymandias or a JD Kane hangout. Do you fit in there well, or you know, you'd rather not
No.
go?
I like to be in there to learn the pompousness of their shit. But
Positions. Yeah, and the way they say things. Why is that? Why are they so pompous? And other people don't admit that.
well, the pompous not because like they are. It's not their own fault. They just the way they've been in that environment, the way they think, they speak to people. They're very belittling without even knowing it. Maybe
And
because
that's
I come from a working class like environment where I've always had to think on my feet more so than yeah. I don't know, more than some people I've met or most people I've met. I've met a lot of people who are like me where they've had to think on their feet kind of thing in life in general, where a lot of people sit there and rattle off a load of shit. I'm thinking that wouldn't work in the practical reality I find myself in. If you said certain things to certain people, you would be dead if you was in my company, but you just sat on the computer. So that's kind of ironic, you know.
okay.
Little things.
Am I wrong saying that philosophy has never proved anything in our reality?
It's not supposed to though. I did
It's not
state that the
supposed
last
to.
time I was in there. It's only to say like, well, this is how I question reality, and other philosophers have only asked whether that questioning was valid. Philosophy is not there to give you answers. It's only there to give you a stepping stone to I wouldn't say validity. A basis for how to formulate a rationale of how you should think about the universe, how we all see it, or how we're all supposed to see it. But
Okay.
philosophy itself doesn't give you answers. That's
You don't bother going into Nadia's hangouts anymore because there's people that actually believe it can prove something in our reality, right?
No, I just don't like Nadia.
Just don't like Nadia. Okay.
Simple as.
Anyone? I mean, does anybody take philosophy for real here?
I do, but I just
Yes,
don't think
I
they give
do,
you
Bunto.
answers.
Well, okay, like it can prove something in our reality, lyrics.
Mm-mm.
No, but it can open up the doorways of perception.
Yeah, that's what its thing is. I mean, philosophy itself, the word means the study of reality. That's what philosophy means in Latin. Doesn't mean anything else. It's like science. You know, science. To most, I wouldn't say most. That's a bit of
It's the science of logic,
well,
more or less, and of reality. You know.
well, no, science in Latin just means knowledge. It doesn't say we can disprove God. It never done that. It never said that. Other people said it said that because they didn't like what its implications is what scares people, not exactly what science is as a word. And people back in the day got hung up on the word during the 19th century, and before that. It wasn't about the word, it was about the implications. That's why people used to burn people on crosses and, you know, all kinds of crazy shit, because it was what it was going to do to the ideology of other people who were religious and shit. So it meant more in them days than it did today. Unless you're religious.
Like marshmallows.
Yeah.
Okay, people that go to Nadia hangouts, do they pay attention to anything that?
That's why I came in, Bunto.
Yes.
Oh, well, tell me what happened. You got booted?
No, I didn't. I wasn't in the hangout. I'm avoiding them for the moment. All the time Brett Keen's around, I don't want to be involved.
Oh,
Brett Keen.
Well, you have to understand, Brett Keen's in there for one reason. He likes the whole attention thing. Nadia's an attention seeker.
I mean, Nadia knows that, but she's scared of him. But a lot of people.
She's not scared of him.
Yeah, I think she's scared of what he could do to her channel or what he could. You know what I mean? She's got. There's a reason she's tolerating his crap, and perhaps someone else can tell me what it is.
No, Nadia likes him in there.
Yes. Yes.
Nadia likes him in there.
Why? I mean, I'm asking you genuinely. I'm not.
No, and I'm telling you genuinely. It's the controversy. Nadia likes.
Right.
Controversy. She likes to feel the Debbie Downer. She likes to feel like, no offense, but a lot of people have tried to help Nadia over the past, and I'm not going to go into because it's a big ass long story that everybody should know.
I'm very well aware of Nadia's history, Sty.
Right, so in that regard, if Brett Keen shows up in anybody's room with like half a brain, would kick him out. Right?
Right.
They love each
No
other.
offense, but they would. She
They love each other.
tolerates him for a reason. It helps other people come to her room because she knows other people do not like Brett Keen. He will invite them, and other people will come to her room. She wants her room to become the focal point of whatever controversy is because she can get shit out of it, like pizzas, money, rent.
They love each other.
Right, anyway, I didn't come in here to slag Nadia off. I came in here to discuss what happened to Bunto today. Bunto, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you read the comments.
No, what did they say, honey?
No, I read. It's what I wrote.
Oh, what did you say? I didn't read it.
Furious with Rev because no, it's okay. Go and have a look if you want. But I just wanted to say that I did rip Rev News a new asshole for what he did because irrespective of what went on between you and Kiz, and I was the person he told.
Right.
That, you weren't gay and that you'd done this and that to him. It's a personal thing between you and Kiz, and the fact that Rev brought that up and was questioning you as though he had some kind of right to know what was going on, and it was appalling in my opinion. Bunto, you're no angel, neither am I. But at the end of the day, I've never seen you do anything dishonest, or I mean, you're as mischievous and naughty, and so am I. But You didn't deserve that. And then when you explained yourself, basically you were told that you were a liar. And I thought it was appalling. And I just wanted to pop in and say that I was just furious about it. I mean, Rev's pissing me right off at the moment, but that was the last straw for me. And I've just unfollowed him and taken him off everything because of that behaviour.
Bunto's a gay spaghetti monster.
Yeah, the gay. Well, you know, an interesting thing was, within about 10 minutes, I was talking to Rancam, right? Rancam, you know, who always gets a bunch of negative press, and he told me, Bunto, what's just one more guy hating you? And I said, thanks, Ran. So, you know, it's just something that happens in our community.
Ran is far more entertaining for me, anyway. This is my personal opinion. Far more entertaining than any of that lot, and I can have a laugh with Ran. You get him on his own or in a private-ish conversation, he'll be honest and say he's winding everybody up.
Honestly, right, I've had him in one of my hangouts before, and he's been, I wouldn't say a perfect gentleman, but he's not been as, like, rowdy row as people. I think this is the thing, right? I think people need to understand everybody's got their own little opinion and psyche.
Sure.
And you can rub other people the wrong way without even you noticing it, right? And people take that as like, oh, it's YouTube drama or it's Google Plus drama. And it's just like, you know, it is kind of childish sitting back and watching it unfold. And that's why I can step away and just go.
With you, the only reason I get annoyed with Brett Keane is because he's such a sly motherfucker, and people have told me stop getting upset with him. It's just not worth it, and they're right. But I just can't help it with him. I don't dislike anyone, but I really, really dislike him. I think it's his face. His face just fucking annoys me every time I see it on the show. I want to punch it.
You know what? I think it's better to treat people who want to act like kids. Ignore them.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a bit of a kid.
You scream and shout for sweets.
I am a kid. I love coming on here and winding people up. It's one of the things I enjoy about it. Don't take it seriously. I'm fed up with the God argument. I just want to laugh. And then Brett Keane comes in the room and starts pushing his channel, telling everybody atheists are scum. You know, and I know he's doing it to wind everybody up, but I've got a weakness clearly there. And I just got to avoid him, and I had been doing so well. As soon as he comes in the room, I leave within seconds. But he got me today.
You mightn't like this, but that might reflect more on you than it does on him.
Probably. What you mean?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying is if someone gets to you, right, for what they do, it reflects on your own.
I don't know. He just gives me the creeps. He just makes my skin crawl. He's just a revolting. But he gets all these Christians, these moderate Christians, and people I like, following him around as though he's some kind of, guru. And yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, Star. It's my problem, not his.
No, I don't, honestly, Annabelle, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just you got to be wary. It's like I watch so many fundies and New Age weird. I'm a UFO kind of guy, right, and conspiracy kind of guy. Now, a lot of people don't like what I wouldn't say preach, but what I think. I don't trust human beings as far as I can throw them, basically. So anything's up for grabs. Now, with aliens and shit, I take a scientific approach. We look for aliens already. It's not special about it. We look for them because we can't be the only ones. Mathematically, it's impossible for us to be the only people in the entire fucking universe. So I come out from that approach. Whether they come here or not, I'm not really bothered about that. But I still find that subject interesting. So I can take the piss out of the New Ages and all that shit. When it comes to Brett Keane and what he does, though, I've witnessed the Brett Keane atheist style, and now I'm witnessing the Brett Keane theist style, and they're both the same person.
Yeah,
it's just whether you're willing to accept his spiel. That's it.
I mean, actually, I'm glad that I've had this conversation, because I really need to just get over it and just ignore him completely, because it's not. I'm the one that's getting annoyed. Brett's probably just laughing at me, having a go. At me.
He's pretty amusing. I don't get annoyed by him. I just get amused.
Okay, what would happen if we met Brett Keane out of character? Like Brett Keane is.
He'd be a pathetic little nobody. He wouldn't be anything like he is.
You'd actually probably have a good conversation with him and have a drink, but he's not capable of doing that because it's his own ego that doesn't let him allow that shit to happen. It's sad, really, because he wants to protect what he thinks. He's scared of himself more than anything else, and he projects that on other people.
Yeah.
He's scared of it. He's scared of what other people think of him, so he projects other things that other
Gosh,
people
is that
want him
what's
to
wrong with
be.
me?
No, it's not. It's a psychological thing.
No,
People,
but I
people like that
I do get upset with
like that.
people on here. I do get upset with people on here. But it's only really fundamentalist people. I haven't got a problem with anyone else. It's the people like Roy Montero. I mean, I make comments and I'll butt in, and tell them that, I mean, it's particularly like Christian Hillbilly, who spends an awful lot of time screaming at Nadia. People like that, really sort of the most vocal. But other than that, I tend to just have a laugh on here.
I would rather any day go for a pint with Christian Hillbilly than Brett Keane.
Okay.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's not. I would rather.
Yeah. Okay.
I would rather go with the devil that I know.
Yeah.
Being like mixed race and stuff and growing up in like England or whatever, as you know, I would rather someone tell me to my face that I'm a nigger than smile and not give me a job.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I'm a nigger.
Anyway, I'm taking over the conversation. I just wanted to come in and say to Bunto, I'm sorry that happened to you today. I mean, I don't know what's going on between you and Kiz. I've had both sides of the story, and I'm not involved, but I heard your side today, and I kind of have my own opinion on it now, and I can imagine what happened, and I thought it was really unfair what Rev did, really.
Dude, you know what I don't understand about that whole situation is why is it anyone's business?
Exactly, that's what I said. I told Rev he was a shit stirrer and to keep the fuck out of it.
We're all part of the community, and I could see people in the queue, they do look for drama. They want to know what's going on, so I see, they can know a little bit.
But he could have done that privately, though, Bunto.
Yes, you're right.
If he was that concerned about Kiz, he could have had a conversation. Instead, he attacked you in public, not even knowing why you got upset.
Well, he couldn't.
I don't even know about this, actually, Bunto.
But I was thinking, haven't you guys ever noticed with Christian Hillbilly, I had an interview with him that sometimes he does drop his character once in a while. He'll drop.
I had a lovely conversation with him about 3 weeks ago about business and because we're both in the same game. And we had a really intelligent, articulate conversation, and I thought, oh, he's all right, really.
I've known like for ages.
The next fucking day, he's calling Nadia a pervert and telling her that she's...
No, but this... No, also, you gotta understand one thing. He's literally, his fucking name, it says what it says on the tin. Christian Hillbilly. Take that literally, because that's exactly what he's a Christian, and he's a fucking hillbilly. Like, seriously, I've known him since the days of Stickham. That guy's funny, right? But he's so retardedly honest. That's why I like him, because he will never... I've never known him to change his script, honestly. Ever since I've known him for Stickham, and that's like, I will say 7 years. Maybe six years I've known him. He's never changed the script. I've always known him, apart from... Yeah, he wouldn't like the whole he was drunk shit, but whatever. But that's I was drunk. I was drunk.
Sorry, go back a bit. Sorry, Sty. Did you say Christian Hillbilly used to be a drunk?
Yeah, he used to. Some of the shit you don't know half of Christian Hillbilly, but the guy, right, has always been honest, right, in the sense that he believes God and Savior, and the way he says it, right. But that guy. You know what, right? If I went to his house and I was an atheist and gay and just the worst kind of fucking fucker you could ever come across as a Christian, he would be the one I would hopefully land on the step of, because he would actually give me a place to stay and some food. He would tell me though every fucking second he could I was fit to burn, I'm going to hell.
Right.
But he would still help me. It's so bizarre. It's just one of them weird ones. Honestly.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. And that's why I've in a way I was sad when because I kind of spend too much time in Nadia's hangouts. That's the problem. And
don't go there. No, I want fucking.
Well, dude, I went in there. I went in there just before I came in here, and I went there to have an interesting conversation, maybe about philosophy or something like that. And what happened was it was just drama, and then learning about trans issues.
Right.
That's what got his head now, dude.
But the thing is, we know the trans issues already.
Dude,
Well, as some of you may know, that I am helping Nadia out, and I'm doing
just
it
don't.
because, yeah, but I am, because that's the kind of
Don't.
person I am.
Yo,
And
that's the kind of
I'm going
person
to do my
praise on.
Sky. I'm going to do my bit, and then I feel it's for me. I'm doing it for me as much as I'm doing it for her. You understand that?
Give
Because
money to his
I
fucking.
can't sit back and watch that happen, irrespective of what her bollocks
What's
is.
happening? What's happening? What do you think's happening?
Well,
Do you understand what a charlatan is?
Been
Well,
around the
you know what
block
I
a
was
few
thinking,
times,
Sty?
so I
I was
know
thinking
exactly
grip.
what's happening. But that's
No, you've
not
got
the
no
point.
idea. You
No,
got
that's
no
not the
idea.
point.
I offered to fly that motherfucker to
I
the
know,
United
and I
Kingdom.
have too.
Period.
I know. I
And
know.
she throws in your face. She's full of shit. She's
I know.
she's the biggest scammer on gplus. It's just like, how can you not admit
Yeah,
that
but
to your
look at
own
what.
self, that
I'm
she's a
sorry.
liar?
I would agree with you if she wasn't sitting in that flat in the same fucking clothes day in, day out.
She's been sat in that same bastard fucking flat in them same clothes since I've ever known, and that's 4 years.
But that bothers me.
Off. No, it doesn't bother me. Get off your own ass. Would that bother you if that was one of your own family members or whatever, or maybe someone who lived next door who was sucking the life out of the fucking system? Would you say, "Oh, well, that's okay. I feel sorry for you because
No,
you're
it's not that. It's not
blade."
that. I've got a reason, okay, and I'm not going to go into it. It's so boring, but I'm doing it because I want to, and you have to respect that, Sty, that I'm doing it for my own reason.
No, you know what? I can respect the fact that I can call you a fucking idiot because that's my opinion.
Well, okay, let me referee
I
this.
haven't got a problem with that.
You know what is like, Annabelle, how long have you known Nadia?
Me?
Yes.
About a year and a half.
Wow.
Really? Okay,
that's
so
not
you've
enough.
seen this for a while.
Yeah, I know, but this is what I'm trying to tell Sty. I know what's going on. All that Sty's told me, I'm already more than aware of.
So then why persist?
Well, I'm not persisting. I'm just doing what I want to do because I can't explain it. It's very difficult to explain, I suppose, because
Well,
I know
don't know.
what you're trying to...
Growing up how I did, giving drugs to people who were crackheads and shit wasn't a good idea. There comes a point where
that's a good argument. I realise that. Yeah.
She's on crack, but there's a different type of crack with her. She's an emotional crackhead. She preys on people like you to give her an emotional crack dosage. That's why she sits on the shit every day. If you didn't facilitate her bullshit, she wouldn't be in the position she's in. You're enabling her to do that shit, and that's wrong. That's like me enabling a crackhead to continue being a crackhead, even though I know it's going to kill them.
But I haven't done. I'm not. All I've done. Okay, look. All I'm doing is giving her a little bit of money every month, a tiny.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, go on, Annabelle.
Kind of dropped out, honey.
Yeah, she's lagging.
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, go on, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I'm not giving her hundreds and hundreds of dollars. All I'm doing is sorting out a flight, and I know if she needs me to, because I'm going to be using my
Well, Annabelle, you're dropping in and out.
Yeah, she's dropping out.
I don't know why this keeps happening to me. It's not fair. Anyway, go on, carry on. Just ignore me.
Carry on, sir.
Okay, I was going to say to Stizer, nobody wants the Nadia show to end, correct? What's going to happen when it ends?
No, they want to keep it going because they think that they're doing something for humanity, when actually it's their own guilt that's keeping that shit going. Their guilt is what's driving this nonsense called the Nadia show. Their own guilt. Whatever she said that she won't share in private is a guilt trip that she won't tell anybody else because she feels guilty about it or shameful or some of the bollocks. And she wants to help somebody. Oh, I want to help you. Well, you know what? I don't help kids who die in Africa every day, do I? No. Do you know why that is? Because I'm a human being and that's just the way we are. Right, but because someone's on the internet and it's in your face, you feel like, well, I've got to help. It's community. Being there, done that sanity shit. That's what humans do. So I'm not excluding myself from that notion of that's what humans do. But there comes a point where there's a genuine person who needs your help, right? A genuine person and a bullshitter. I don't want to waste my time on people like her who suck the life out of people who desperately need my help, who would actually fly to the United Kingdom to get help. She will take all your money and still sit there and go, no, Thank you very much. I like the thing that I'm in because it facilitates my pizzas, my rent, my smokes, my drinks, and my 24/7 hangouts. That is not me helping you. That's the Nadia show. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
not going to perpetuate that shit any longer. I refuse to. And in fact, it's actually degrading.
Well, let me ask you this, and to all our participants: when the Nadia show ends, will there be a replacement?
Fucking
you-
hope not. He's not going to suck the shit, whoever it is.
Okay, I mean, anyone? Do you think? Could you envision a replacement for the Nadia show?
I don't know who in the community is in that boat that she's in.
Brett Keane.
Oh, well, yeah.
Brett Keane anyway.
Burger King show, dude.
I've got a serious question right now, guys. Okay, who do you think makes more money, Brett Keane or Nadia?
Nadia.
Right now, Nadia, definitely.
You know why? You know why? She
Please.
fucking milks that trans thing.
Yep. Got me. I will say, hook, line, and sinker. Got me. Hook, line, and sinker.
Okay,
I'm a fucker for
so
gender equality. What can I say? Got me straight away.
Yeah, she got me for a while too. I never gave her money, but
No,
yeah,
I did offer a lot of help, but yeah, I'm sorry, but gender equality is one of them things where I think everybody should be treated equal. I wouldn't want to see someone in that position. It grates my fucking humanity gears, you know. So yeah, I was hooked, and then after I offered and she said no, and give me the worst excuse possibly imaginable, that's when I lost my humanity with that
What
person.
was her excuse, by the way, Sto?
I can't be bothered.
well, there was that, but then
That
she
was
also
literally an
said
excuse,
that
by the way.
someone offering her a job was equivalent to rape.
To rape. Yeah.
Yeah.
you said that.
Yeah, that was red line, and that's when I went in the room and
Yeah,
she
red line
banged
offered
me
her a
because I
job.
just flipped on her after that. I flipped. I was just like, being scoused. That's quite easy.
Here's a question: is there a coherency to what she's doing? Or is it
Yes.
like, okay,
It's called greed.
grifting?
No, it's greed. It's just selfishness.
Yeah,
She
I think
needs
there's a
to
short-term
stop
plan.
swallowing.
I don't think there's very much of a long-term plan, though, if you know what I mean. Like, there's
Yeah, but
there's
there's
like
she lives in such a bad state all the time. It's like, it's awful.
there's like a plan of attack, but there's no like coherent strategy, right? I think is a
That's
good-
that's because I think personally she's not mentally stable enough to know
No.
what the fuck she's doing.
Exactly, that's my point, Sto.
But it doesn't mean giving her money is going to help. I think, in
no,
my opinion, not in my opinion, that's the failure of the United States medical system.
Yeah, I've offered to sort out her flight. It's not quite the same as handing over tons of money, is it?
It is, because she'll ask you for tons of money.
She hasn't ever asked me for anything, and I've never, ever
Oh,
had
no. She's a lot smarter than that. If you can code, I don't know anybody in this room, or in fact, the only person I've ever met that can code a kernel, which is a chip, which is very, very hard to do, unless you're very, very smart, which would make it still hard, but a lot easier than most average human beings. She knows exactly what she's doing. Trust me on that.
Yes,
Ask her any question of any relevance with a brain, she will come up with an answer, but yet she can't solve the problem of getting off her ass and getting a job. And her problem is, I'm a transsexual. I'm sorry, but I know for a fact that that's not stopping you getting a fucking job. You are stopping you getting a job. Because I know a lot of people already on here who has offered you a job in very high paying jobs, and you've refused them because you're a lazy cunt. In fact, you're not lazy. That would be an understatement. You're complacent and ignorant, and you actually like that fact. You just like the fact that people. Why is this become the Nadia show? Can we change the subject? I don't.
I was just about to say.
Yeah,
The
I
last
came in.
time
All
you
I did
laughed,
was
I got
come in to
bullshit.
say that I was appalled by the way Bunto was treated this afternoon. That's the.
I just don't like it in the story.
Well, I mean, isn't that
by Nadia?
no.
By Rev News.
But isn't that a testament to the importance of Nadia in our community that we talk about?
No,
No.
it's testament to fucking
No.
retardedness. That
Not
if
at
she's
all.
if she's the subject of a conversation, it just shows how stupid our
Yeah,
fucking
no, but
community is.
Bunto, I have not been with her hangouts, I think, in 6 months. I mean, she's just so off the radar for me. You know,
I would
Okay,
never
do we
brought
need
it
a
up, only that it got
from
brought up.
body? Oh, go ahead, Sty.
No, I was just gonna say the only reason why I talked about it so much is because it got brought up. I don't want to speak about it because I don't join a hangout. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with anybody who supports it because I don't see that as anything rational that I want to engage in. Not that I don't like you, Annabella, because I've never met you, so I can't prejudge you. But if that's your course of action, good.
Plus,
But for
you know,
me, no.
The other thing, I think one of the biggest problems with Google Hangouts communities is that they're so insular. I'm sure that there's probably like a couple of other communities as big as our echo chambers out there that we have no idea exist, right? And we need to be building bridges with these other larger communities, I think, of the more the regular types. And I don't know, like maybe we should just like get used to like a couple of us people kind of form a community based on like bringing Google communities together, like going to the public hangouts, right, and finding all these public hangouts and saying, hey, like there's all these other regulars on here and we're sick and tired of talking about religion
Okay,
and all these other fucking idiots like Nadia and Rancam, and we want actual cool people to hang out with, right, rather
Yeah,
than
but
just
they're hard.
this
They're
echo
hard to
chamber
come.
that we found ourselves in, right?
But they're hard to come across because they don't latch themselves onto mediocrity bollocks.
No, no, I
Most
agree.
people in this
But we
community
just
do,
like I'm
sadly.
thinking of like
Including
building
myself, not
bridges,
excluding myself.
building bridges with these other because we're in an echo chamber right now, right? We're in this like insulated community where pretty much everybody knows each other, and it's all centered around the religious thing. I'd definitely like to like get off the religious topic, get off of the parasites of the community, right? And just just ignore them and find these other people that are in these other insulated communities that we have no idea that they exist, right? And kind of trying to merge them together, because things like Tiny Chat are really good because they have that homepage, and they have like these. No. Okay, Tiny Chat has its own problems, right? But
Yeah,
like,
Ace. I'm not. Ace. The only thing is, I would say, is that people always try and migrate towards what the most talked about topic is. And no offense, sadly, and this is sadly, the most talked about topic on the interwebs in communities, in the sense of where we live,
sure, right.
is sadly
Really
does God exist, and we're kind of fucked. I mean, unless you want to migrate to like a science topic or maybe a humanitarian topic, or something that diverges off into another realm of thinking. If you're interested in life, then the biggest question in your brain, sadly, is going to be what made the fucking universe.
Like I was hearing you on
That's
the
kind of crappy.
I heard you on the live stream earlier. You're really interested in like conspiracy theories and that kind of stuff. That's a really big topic that we could do. Science, like alternative energy, and even like secret government projects and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can spread out in, but now we're like in this echo chamber stuck on the topic of religion that we're just all sick of, right?
Well,
like, I hate, like, I've stopped going on Google Hangouts so much because of, people just talking about religion or talking about everybody else.
I would like to make conspiracy theories more historical. I think a lot of people watch like Alex Jones and these these weirdos on the internet and just go, conspiracy theory.
Exactly. I mean, we can the Gulf of Tonkin, right? The syphilis in Latin America. Project Northwoods and all Project Mockingbird, right? I mean, all these kind of things are really interesting and completely historical, right? And there's no doubt that any of these things actually did happen. They did, and so that's just one interesting topic. But one out of the many, and yet we're all here stuck in this echo chamber about religion, and we're letting people like G-Man and Brett Keane just fucking run this community, and it's just so uninteresting. I mean,
but hang on a sec. Can I just say something? There are a lot of people in this community that thrive off those characters and that wouldn't even have YouTube careers or whatever you want to call them if it wasn't.
Jenny Kane.
Yeah.
Right, and whatever. I'm so tired of that.
Alex Fox, Fiona Robertson, honestly, if they didn't have
high five, Annabelle, high five.
So tired of all of
and
that.
But have you not noticed how they've just set up this new group called No More Trolls or something? Because they want to shut down the very people that they make videos about every single fucking day. It's unbelievable.
But they are the biggest trolls. They troll the community with their waffle.
And Bunto, you're really good at this, like curating a community and that kind of stuff. And we just need a couple of people working together to just like go out into these public hangouts, right? And go into these random hangouts and see where, kind of feel out where these other communities of regulars are, and kind of just integrate all of them together into like a larger cohesive whole away from the religion topic, because it's so sickening at this point to just talk about this all the time.
Well, dude, there's piles of off-air hangouts that, are on the
Exactly.
TL.
We gotta find those people, right?
Well,
exactly.
okay, I'm just gonna say this. I know it's live. Okay, so I need to say this because it's live. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? Well, I am, but not in the way you would think. I'm from England, okay? Now, I think I'm the only person that I've ever known, as far as I'm aware. I'm going to say this live because I think it's the only person that I know who I've got a person to admit they was wrong in how they formulated an argument in a conspiracy theory video, which was a 9/11 conspiracy video, okay?
All right.
Now, the guy was... fuck, can't remember his name. God damn it, that was a fail. Anyway, some dude who was well known for making these videos, can't remember his name. He made a video about like 9/11 and whatever. Now, 9/11 doesn't bother me the way tinfoil hatters do, right? But what I try and add to conspiracy theories is not the whole, well, is it happening, can it happen kind of crazy shit. It's the fact that how do human beings treat other human beings? Now, we know quite well human beings aren't that good at treating other human beings very well, okay? So, a conspiracy is only to conspire between other human beings. As soon as most people, because of the media, hear the word conspiracy theorist, they automatically think tinfoil hat. Well, actually, if you're English like me and Annabelle are, actually, the fucking November the 5th is a conspiracy theory. It's one of the oldest actually that we know of in modern times, right? So you wouldn't go around saying, well, November the 5th, we're all tinfoil hatters. Well, no, we wouldn't.
Hitler and the
Reichstag that they already knew about it, and it's not that. It's just whether humans are able to conspire against one another. That's all.
No, exactly. Like Hitler and the Reichstag, right?
Yeah, exactly. Did people conspire to come up with crazy shit? And I think it's possible that humans can lie on a scale that most humans wouldn't believe because they wouldn't think that other humans could be so scrupulous.
Well, you know what's so sad? Okay, so this is kind of recent. There was have you heard of Hillary's email gate?
Yeah, another one.
Oh, everybody's gonna still
Benghazi
vote
gate
for her
again.
Oh my God, I can't believe it that people are just gonna go to the polls and just vote for her and everything. It's all
Can
gonna
I
go
just ask actually, Bunto? Sorry, Sty and you guys. I mean, the ones everybody's entitled to ask questions and to be concerned about some of the stories that are told by the media or by the government. I haven't got a problem with that. When I get annoyed is when they start making the most ridiculous accusations, like, for example, Sandy Hook was all actors. That's the kind of conspiracy theorist that that I can't deal with.
Right. Well, this is the thing. When it gets, you got to understand. Like, this is the fault of the people who instigate, the myth themselves. Now, you got to understand where this is a very new actual construct. It started actually from 9/11, which is bizarre, because before 9/11, the biggest conspiracy theory was JFK, John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, you're
John F.
absolutely right.
Kennedy
Oh no, dude! Conspiracy stuff.
Hold on, lyrics. I'm just gonna put this in like just a quick historical reference. The only known conspiracy before everybody starts going mental about afterwards was JFK. Everybody accepts that John F. Kennedy was the biggest conspiracy theory even before we landed on the moon or any of that stupid New Age bollocks, right?
Yeah.
It was JFK. Okay. Who the fuck killed JFK? We all admit that. Marilyn Monroe, ooh, that's intrigue, all that stuff. So that was cool, right? Now, after that, no one gave a shit, really, to be quite honest. Right? No one cared.
Right.
And then, we had the IRA bombing England. You had ETA blowing the shit out of Spain. You had the FARC blowing the fuck out of Colombia. You had all this crazy shit happen. And then 9/11 happened, right? 9/11 said, the boogeyman now is the Muslims. That's what changed the world. ever since then, every fucking conspiracy fucking theorist on the planet went fucking mental.
Yeah. But this is what I can't
Tinfoil
understand. It's not just one. They don't just have one conspiracy theory. Every single thing is a conspiracy. I was even expecting a whole load of. I mean, in fact, I think I heard Bunto say something that I'm pretty sure he was trolling, but I might be wrong. That he was concerned about the aeroplane that went into the Alps this weekend, last week.
Even the conspiracies are now conspiracy theories. It's like people are so paranoid about all this shit. ISIS was made by the. I mean, this is a natural progression of human stupidity, basically.
It's very American as well.
No, it is America.
Really.
It's fucking Team America 101. You know, all the Muslims are coming together, so therefore all the Muslims who thought that was actually fucking propagated by some Muslims are actually fucking running around thinking, you know, the Mahdi's coming or something. It's all gone batshit crazy because people in power can manipulate because they've got so much power. Now, it's not a conspiracy that there's rich people. There is. We've known that since the Pope, since
And there is an elite, definitely. I work for the World Economic Forum, and I used to watch them all walk around.
They don't run the planet, though.
No, exactly. I mean, they do have influence, and they certainly have power, but nothing in the order that these conspiracy theorists come up with.
But this is the thing I always ask, like, the true tinfoil hatters. What makes you think humans are that fucking smart? You know? We couldn't run a piss up in a beauty, for fuck's sake. What makes you think we can run a planet?
You've got what I would consider relatively intelligent people claiming that 9/11 was a hologram.
Oh wow, that's just.
Oh god, I've heard the ones where it's demons and angels.
Yeah,
well that's Commando.
Stein, Bunto, anybody else? I just made a community for what I was thinking about. I'll make you guys moderators if you.
No, I'll look into it definitely.
My favorite one was beam weapons. That was my favorite. It's like she made a beam weapon just to blow up two stupid towers. Like no. Bombs in the building probably.
That was Judy Woods, wasn't it? That fucking did that shit. I fucking hate her guts.
I don't know, but whoever it was, you know,
Judy Woods. I mean, I had to do a bit of homework on Judy Woods because of the claim that Rev News was making about her, that she knows everything and she's got this. So I got these pictures sent to me of burnt out cars. Claiming that they were a mile away from. Now, I lived in New York, right next to the World Trade Center, for 2 years. I know exactly where those cars were.
No, actually, you know. That was weird, right? It is weird that there's paper next door to burning cars. Like, the car melts next to, like, paper. But I'm thinking, well, if you look at a pyroclastic blast of a volcano, right? The actual atoms or the dust is so hot, it would literally melt the paint on a car. That would be reasonable, right? So, you know, and paper takes a while to come down from the sky. So I'm thinking, well, that's just the blast of the heat of all the soot and all the shit and whatever, you know. So you can easily work that out, but that doesn't scare me, right? The whole 9/11, the buildings fell down at 10 seconds. That doesn't bother me. What does bother me is the only thing is there was planes flying around for 40 minutes on the same day that NORAD was having the exact same training mission for the exact same shit that would happen. That's the only thing that bothers me.
Yeah,
and that was actually in the 9/11 Commission. That's the only thing that bothers me about the whole entire scenario.
Well, not just that, but that a Boeing 757 made a 270-degree corkscrew turn to meet nearly level with the ground to hit the Pentagon.
You would black out. You would black out if that was actually. Yeah. And actually, we could remote control fly planes from the 1980s, apparently.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm thinking, it sounds a bit weird there, but also the fact that, you know what? Okay, let's say the 9/11 thing happened the way it did, and there's a bunch of guys, terrorists, box cutters, whatever. Let's say that happened, right? That scares me because the most powerfulest nation on the planet got its ass whooped by a guy in a cave.
Yup.
That's scary. Why do we even need Russia anymore if a guy in a cave can bring down the United States? That's scary.
a good
By
point.
anyone's standards, right? That would be a scary proposal. What, a guy in Afghanistan who haven't got telephones or whatever? What the fuck are they using sat nav? Oh, the same satellites that the CIA put into space, because them
Yeah,
satellites
no,
that you use for sat nav
Stein-
are owned by the United States government. Hello.
Yeah, Stein,
Hello.
you might have heard of probably my favorite video on this, and it's only 5 minutes long. Is 9/11 a conspiracy theory by James Corbett? Have you ever seen that?
No, but I'm still trying
Oh
to
man,
that
like,
apologized.
it's essentially the official story being retold by James Corbett. If have you guys ever heard of the guy?
Oh, no, I haven't. I'm trying to honestly think of the guy's name who said that he was sorry. Well, he didn't say he was sorry. He did apologize for the fact that he said
nanothermite.
Yeah, everybody in the video that he filmed said nanothermite. He asked him a question, right? He said, "How do you think the Twin Towers fell down?" or some shit. And all the little, conspiracy tinfoil hatters were like, nanothermite, nanothermite. Every single one of them said nanothermite. And then when he said, "I'm gonna debunk them," he used an Xbox and thermite. And I was like, well, that's not fair, really, is it? Because thermite ain't the same, because thermite's actually what you get on sparklers, which he literally said, sparkler dust, which is that's technically what it is, right? But nanothermite is military grade thermite, which burns 10 times hotter, which is a lot fucking hotter than the shit that you just used, and it does actually burn through steel pretty fucking easy. I mean, that's why the military made it. It's military grade shit, so that's kind of interesting. And I forgot his fucking name. I wish I could say, because he did apologize.
Sol gel, right?
No, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but it was not thermite, and that's the only thing
it's called sol gel. It's actually an explosive form of thermite, because actually when you have smaller particulates and they're mixed together better, the reaction is actually much more violent. And they also add additional things. I can't remember the exact, but potassium and other things to speed up the reaction as well. So it's actually slightly explosive. It's not as explosive as something like TNT, but it's different qualitatively from thermite.
It's the fact that it burns hotter.
Right, and it burns much more rapidly, and it can have quite a gaseous explosion.
Well, they said they had molten steel. I mean, that way, my point. The point is, if you're gonna debunk a tinfoil hatter, at least debunk them the right way. At least use the same fucking word that they were saying that would. I mean, if you're gonna say, well, my house burned down because someone blew it up, you're not gonna go, well, it was a gas explosion. It's like, well, I didn't say that. I said it blew up.
To be honest, probably the biggest smoking gun was actually the fact that there was molten metal for, 2 or 3 months after it.
That's interesting. Guys, can I jump in real quick? I just want to thank all of you for an excellent hangout. I hope you all have a great week. Enjoy. Take care.
Oh, wow. Don't close, Bunto.